What's up, guys? Iceman here. Welcome, exiles, to the Research Institution. So, there's a lot of news for Path of Exile 2. We have, for August 29th, just a month and a couple weeks away or whatever, the start of a new league. Alright, now these are beta leagues, of course. It's not the full game, but they've only had one of these so far, which was the one that was in April, and I was playing the Witch Summoner when that came out, and that was a damn good time. Now, I know that the Path of Exile community is very divided. There's a lot of videos on YouTube of people just talking shit about Path of Exile 2. Now, I'll get to the changes for this upcoming league in just a minute here. But I think this is a pretty big thing. This is impactful, you know? Like the developers and shit, they listen to the community. And I just can't help but wonder what's going to come for POE2 in the future, you know? A lot of the fan base has gone to Path of Exile 1. Now, I don't really feel like playing Path of Exile 1, so I haven't delved into that, pun intended. It's actually the one league that I played in POE 1 was Delve, and it was a really good time. You go down into the caverns as far as you can go, and the monsters just keep getting harder and harder. You can just find all sorts of gear. It's like a never-ending dungeon or something, to my understanding. Unless if there is an end to it, I just never got to it, but I don't think there is. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong. But I like POE2, you know? Like, I'm holding out. What I like about it, just some of the fundamentals about it, where you know how you can make your character run around and shit, and then you can right-click or whatever. Like, say that you're a Jabazon, right? The Huntress who uses the Javelin. Say that you're running, you can click on an enemy in a different spot, and she'll keep running in the direction that you told her to, and she'll pivot and just start hurling the Javelins at the enemy of wherever the hell they are, you know? I think that's a pretty cool thing that, to my understanding, they can't add that to POE 1. And just how ridiculous that is that a game like Diablo 4 didn't do that, you know? It's so much more fluent. It just feels like you're in the combat. It feels like a less static, over-the-top camera game, you know? Like the ones that we've been playing since Diablo 1. It just seems like the next evolution of this stuff. And how Diablo 4 missed that is just fucking bullshit, honestly. Like, these people, it's like one of the biggest gaming companies in the world. And they're like, oh yeah, let's just copy and paste Diablo 3 and put a new coat of paint over it, and we'll call it Diablo 4. It's kind of what happened with that, but here's the kicker with POE2. I think this is why a lot of people have left it for now and are playing POE 1. The role mechanic and how the game is kind of centered around that. You know, how you're invulnerable during a certain revolution in the roles. And you have unlimited roles. You can just keep doing it. They built the game around that, you know, kind of like Dark Souls or Elden Ring. And looking at it from afar, I thought that was a great idea because it actually added some skill, timing, dexterity to games that otherwise generally don't have that. These are just number crunches, you know, like how POE 1 is. It's pretty much a number crunch. You can sit back, number crunch, copy paste builds, and there you go. POE 2 has that dexterity, timing, implementation that other games just don't have that are in this genre. But maybe they took it too far. So I actually have an idea that I think would be good to potentially fix this problem that a lot of people have with its current iteration. So hear me out on this, and if you guys will like this damn video, give me a hell yeah in the comments below if you think this might be a good idea, or at least something that these devs should consider. So what if, instead of the role making your character completely invulnerable to most attacks during certain cycles in that role, what if it were to just give you some damage reduction? You know, like 25% damage reduction. Or maybe even a chance to miss all damage, but stuff like that, you know? The problem is they'll have to redo all the freaking numbers in the game, because right now they're all dependent on that roll and how it makes you invulnerable during a certain time to most attacks. But the reason I think this would be a good idea, maybe, is because as you approach the end game, or whatever end game you're going for, maybe you just want to be able to go through Act 6, like steamroll that stuff, which is kind of what I like to do. I like to kind of build my characters around the hardest parts of the end campaign and just have a good time there. You could min and max your character to a point where, and as you ascend, if you will, the roll becomes less and less needed, you know? Now you could still use it to avoid damage and stuff, but it won't be as essential the more godly your character becomes. You see what I'm saying? So I think that would maybe be a good blend of this new iteration that they're implementing in POE2 versus the old way, which was just a number crunch with no roll. You know what I'm saying? No spacebar invulnerability superpower that you get to just spam. But I'm curious what you guys think about that. I mean, I think I would enjoy that a little bit more, because it is a bit intense when your character could get squashed at any moment, no matter how strong, powerful you built them, just because you didn't click the space bar in that millisecond you were supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is kind of what it turns into. And I don't know, without the additional movements of the camera and control, like what you get in a first-person shooter or a third-person action RPG, like Elden Ring, for example, they have to really, really hone in on that one that one thing where you just hit the space bar at the right time, you know? There's not as much evading or cycling around as there would be in a full 3D game. So they really have to hone in on that damn, did you click the space bar in that millisecond or not? That's kind of what it turns into with this kind of game when you center the difficulty around that aspect of it, okay? But yeah, I think maybe less than that, maybe a 10% damage reduction if you dodge in time, or maybe a 15%. Maybe you can increase that damage reduction with gear or skills, I don't know. And like I said, maybe always a chance it'll completely miss the damage. I mean, they should maybe do something like that, or at least think about it. Because I think that is kind of what a lot of people have a problem with. Because as you hone in the end game, the difficulty, the numbers begin to crunch, it really does become more and more important that you do the fucking roll at the right time, you know? And that'll make or break whether or not you can clear a map or whatever. So it's just kind of an idea, but that isn't as important to me because I just like playing through the campaign, you know, as a spiritual journey. And I know the campaign isn't where you're really starting to crunch the numbers like you're on the end game. So as you approach that, this part of the game that I'm addressing, I think becomes more and more crucial, you know, if they want to do something about that or not. But anyway, that's what I really enjoyed, was just playing through the damn axe. So here's the thing. The updates that are coming, they have new items, new uniques, new shit. They have new crafting. All right. They have a couple new acts, but people are saying they're going to put out the acts just one league at a time, one act at a time per league. And it's uncertain if we're going to get an act in August, on August 29. So I don't know, but let me know if you guys are going to be there with me on August 29 to run this. I just love starting over, starting afresh with a new character. some of the changes. It gives us an excuse to start over again. I think that's one of the best times, when you just start with a clean slate and you just never know what the hell's ahead of you. And another point to make on that is, I think what they should do is kind of like how we had it in Diablo 2, where early in the game, you could find some shit that you'd use end game potentially, you know? Like you could find an SOJ ring in frickin' Nightmare mode, all right? And it was super, super rare, but it kind of made it fun playing through the initial campaign, because there was always that slim chance that you will find a piece of gear that you might use to the rest of the game, you know? And that was kind of fun. And even the runes allowed for that. And the runes, you'd find certain runes in Nightmare mode even, or even normal mode, that you would use in your endgame items. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. I think that they should really fine-tune the early stages of the game as well, because the problem is they're focusing so much on the endgame shit because everybody's just rushing to the fucking endgame, and I think that's stupid. You know, I think where the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. All right. I think a bunch of idiots basically are the ones who just rush to the end. Okay, because a lot of the journey, a lot of the ascension within is found on a moment-to-moment basis when you begin and continue on. You know, you don't have to rush to the fucking end. It's crazy how people do that. You're really robbing yourselves from the actual inner ascension. Okay, I'm telling you guys, don't do that, and stop copy pasting these fucking builds. You're ruining the game for yourself. All right, you're ruining the game. You're ruining the wonder, the discovery, you know, all that shit is just completely gone. You just copy and paste a fucking build that you found on the internet that some guy on YouTube or Steam is running, and he already ran all the numbers. He already put in 50,000 hours in this game, so he played it for you already, so you don't have to. You see what I'm saying? What a fucking waste. It's just, I mean, you guys got to embrace the spiritual journey like what I'm doing. It really, because that's why I'm excited for this game. All right, you could be on the other side of this video, like, oh, Iceman, the game fucking sucks. Iceman, the endgame sucks. But I mean, you're probably copy pasting this endgame shit. You're rushing to the end, so you're not even enjoying the game, you know. And then you're telling me how to do it. You're telling me that it's wrong. You're telling me that I'm wrong. You see what I'm saying? Well, who's really wrong here? I mean, it's you, man. If that's where your head is, come on, man. That's just how fucking life is, you know? You gotta detox some shit. You gotta take a break. You gotta take a breath. You gotta smell the roses, you know? If you're gonna deplenish your dopamine and shit if you keep doing that. You just rush to the end. You copy paste the builds. You complain about the end game. You don't even embrace the early game. You just want to get rushed to the damn end. But they're gonna be adding new acts. They're gonna be adding swords, but the strange thing is, I guess the swords aren't going to be out in August. A lot of people are like, where the fuck are the swords? And yeah, you'd think that the swords would be here, but whatever. I mean, it'll be cool when they come out. You know, the swords, the axes, they must be doing some weird shit with them, because I mean, that's generally the first thing you have in a game like this. You have swords in it, you know? So I think they're trying to balance some shit around the swords. And right now, so there's like staves and like the scepters that offer like auras and buff to your minions. So the swords must be something a little different. I don't know, maybe they're just going to be pure. Maybe there's something else that they're building around the swords, is kind of my guess. But they got all that shit coming. And I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. Are you going to be playing the League on August 29th? Are you going to be there? Or are you going to be square? Let me know in the comments. I think, like I said, I think you guys should embrace the spiritual fucking journey. All right. Shut off the streams. All right. Shut off the YouTube videos, except for this one, except for this channel, because this channel, you can join me on the spiritual journey. You know, I'm not posting endgame bullshit. I'm not copy pasting the build that some guy's doing who played 50,000 hours. See what I'm saying? I'm helping you awaken. It's kind of what this channel's about, in connection with Path of Exile 2 in this example, and maybe other games, but the focus of the channel, of course, has been Path of Exile 2, because I had high fucking hopes for this game, and I still do. I just feel like I'm missing something. We got the axe, we got the crafting, we got the unique items and shit. I just feel like there's something big. I think there's some skills and shit they're working on, but I'll have to save it for another video. I think there's something else I'm missing here. But anyway, if you guys will like the video, comment below your thoughts on these matters. Do you think they should rework that shit, like that roll and all that, like what I was saying? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace be with you.